Hey, welcome to the patch. This week with
Ashley.
Adam.
Andy.
And Ryan.
And I'm Gus.
You're Gus as well? You're doubling up?
Well, look, the spirit of Gus must remain.
Well,
The
does
spirit
it
of
though?
Gus
Where is he? He was
oversees
here
all.
earlier today.
I don't know. I just fucking took off,
He just
probably.
plays VR games all day now.
Yeah.
He
Yeah,
does.
he's
Yeah,
locked-
well,
he's locked in his
into
office in another world.
Listen, I'm an advocate of VR, so I agree with what he's doing. It's awesome. I'm jealous.
I like that he got an office just so that he has somewhere to
Yeah,
play
he
VR
kicked
games.
people out. He's like, you can no longer be in here because I want to play games.
It's just his little cave just for VR.
Yeah, when I
it's
went
pretty
looking
cool.
for him, I was like, what are you doing in animation? And now I know.
He's not in animation.
Eventually-
he's got his
just
own
there.
space, okay?
He's
It's like a
just-
loft
He's
above the
within-
garage.
He's in that like pit though. He's gonna eventually take
Yeah.
over the mocap room.
Yeah.
we won't do
Just-
mocap
yeah.
anymore.
And then just like slowly he'll start pushing all the animators out.
No,
Isn't
Like,
that
you
like-
know,
they're
we need
gonna
a
get
larger
their own
space.
space that's bigger and cooler.
We're gonna have like a dedicated like VR building eventually.
Actually,
Yeah.
On board.
maybe
We're
something
moving
like
that
that.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you really need a lot of space for VR.
Yeah.
Especially if you want to film it.
We ended up
I think we're in a hangar.
at home. We built a little PC that's like, you know, one of the little blocks. It's got like a weird fucking motherboard that's completely.
Oh, we can say
non-standard.
fuck. I wasn't quite sure, so that's good. to
We
know.
just did. So
There
I'm
we
gonna
go.
go ahead
Nice.
and
I
say
wasn't quite
yes,
sure.
Way to
So-
break the ice.
We're
because
good.
I don't do things that are wrong, right?
Okay.
Right, yeah.
That's the way this works. Yes, we built a custom PC that goes on a little cart with a monitor that we've moved into another room whenever we need to play VR.
So it's like your base stations just say mounted and everything. You just plug it all in when the PC rolls in.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So we can take the cart back and hook it up to a monitor for. It's basically what we call a Teddy's machine because he's the youngest and that means he has to deal with it. So we'll roll the cart into the computer room when he's going to play a normal PC game. Just hook it up to the monitor and you can.
Is this like the
interact
modern
with it
version
fine.
of a puppy? He's like, you got to take care of it, Teddy. Make sure you feed it good power. Keep it on a UPS.
Make sure
No.
you use the compressed air to blow it out every now and again.
I know where you're coming from though, because like just getting started, like the first 5 minutes of like setup for VR are sort of a barrier to entry for me. But then once you get in, it's like,
Is it? I mean, Valve at least with the Vive is really simple
So
and
I have
really cute
cats.
little pictures.
I have no.
That'll do it.
I don't mean like the general setup. I mean
Okay.
like every time I go to use it, I gotta like
The
take it out of my
daily
closet
setup.
and plug it in, and then like potentially do a room scale setup. Mm-hmm. But it's all because I have cats. So
Well-
my cats have already chewed through a couple of my cables, which I'm not happy about. But thankfully, it's just the HDMI and the USB cable, so nothing proprietary yet.
Yet,
don't even know that there
yet
is a
being the
proprietary.
important phrase there.
The power cables are proprietary.
Right? This is just a proprietary connector on the end.
Yeah,
of it.
they're like $20 bucks or something like
I
that.
should just be happy that they got rid of the sync cable. There used to be a sync cable between the
There
lighthouses.
is a sync cable.
Well, they're
you don't
wireless
you don't
now.
have to use it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if you have a large enough space, you should. Or if you can't, if the view is obstructed. So we're talking
Why
about
would
VR.
you have why would
VR,
you have an
yes.
obstructed
No, all about it.
view in
I was
the middle
just
of your
hoping you
open
guys
play
would fight a
space?
little bit
Ceiling
more. I
fan.
like it when mommy and daddy argue.
If you just drop them down a foot, though.
Totally. But like
Yeah.
in certain cases, you don't have that luxury.
The field of view on those things is wide.
It's wide, but it's not.
On the-
It's not
the
that
lighthouses?
lengthy. Like over,
Also, if you've got a fan encroaching on your VR space, that you're gonna lose a hand.
but over 15 feet,
You're gonna reach up
over
one
15
day and
feet
get-
across. You're
yeah.
supposed to use one. So like you guys in the shooting should probably be using one.
Nah, it's
doesn't
fine.
affect it that much though.
we actually, haven't had any issues.
Yeah.
With at least the two in sync.
Yeah, I've mine are like 3.5 meters, so I don't use them, but it seems fine. So VR, I love VR. Sorry.
Well, with you guys moving it in and out a lot, do you find like you constantly have to recalibrate the space, or
We only move the PC, so the lighthouses kind of stay where they are. We don't use that room a whole bunch. Theoretically, it's a room for like when we have people over for entertaining, but we just don't have people
Mostly
over.
it's just the VR room now.
So now it's the VR room.
I turned my guest bedroom into
I think
a
like
VR
every
room.
house should just have
Yeah.
a dedicated VR room, like at least like 10 years from now.
Yep.
Like every house should have a VR like room. It just like
I
makes
hope in
sense.
10 years from now, hopefully you won't need a room. Just your entire
Just-
life will be a VR room.
That's true. I mean, yeah, technology's like catching up to things. So
Have you guys been playing the Vive at all?
We do a little bit. I don't play it as much because when it's all set up, the boys really like playing it,
Sure.
and so I like to like let have them play it as much as possible because they don't have the opportunity to do so all the time.
Right.
But I mean, I like a lot of the little experiential stuff. For me, the appeal of VR is putting on a headset and forgetting that someone could be right next to you.
Right.
Physically, they're there, but you don't care anymore. To you, they're gone.
what's,
They're
like
dead.
what's the average time you usually like you're in VR before you're like I should take the headset off because I'm like getting a little tired of it.
Maybe like
what's-
30 minutes.
30 minutes.
I
okay.
have
30 minutes
like
to an hour.
4 to 6 hour sessions.
Jesus.
Whoa,
Seriously?
holy
Oh
shit.
my god.
It's because I have my friend in Philly. He's like one of my best friends, and we don't get to see each other ever. But in VR, we can co-op together. And
That's
it's like
cool.
we're in the same room.
So
Yeah.
what game do you guys play together?
We bounce around. I've been getting a lot of enjoyment out of Sorry,
I'm adjusting this.
I'm getting a
Don't
lot of
mind me.
enjoyment out of Rec Room.
Rec Room. Okay.
It
I haven't
is
played that
a
one.
free, like social experience, and I say experience because it's still in sort of alpha, but it's awesome. It's like probably the best thing on the Vive right now. So you start in and you have like I think they just updated it, so you have your own little personal room which you can customize, and you can change your avatar what he looks like. But the fun of it is you have different games you can do. So they have paintball, dodgeball, charades, which is also kind of like Pictionary. Paddleball, which is kind of like tennis, but in like a small rectangular space, and one other one.
So I described the collection as like a rec room.
Oh, there we go.
There it
Yeah.
is.
See, there it is. That's paddleball.
That looks cool.
And so
Is it
It's like
limited
Wii
to two
Sports,
players?
but
no, like this game specifically, like 2 people are playing at one time,
Right.
But like in paintball,
I'm not
you can
gonna
have
lie,
like
though,
you can
those
have like
characters
3
are
on
a
3
little
and
bit
4 on
creepy.
4. They're fun.
Oh, there we go.
You just
There's
get used
like-
to them. It's just like
social space.
It's social, but like so the cool thing
that's a
about
little creepy, if
VR
I'm
games
honest.
is like we were playing paddleball and we're playing it the normal way for a while, and then we're like, why don't we just ditch the paddles and use our hands and just slap it? And like so, it's you can like sort of make your own rules in VR games, and it's a lot. It's really fucking interesting, and also it just kind of feels like you're hanging out with your friend. Even to the point where like we decided to give each other a high five.
Disc golf.
And that's the other one, and there was like haptic feedback for our high fives.
Oh, that's
It's-
cool.
It's awesome, man.
I feel like the best VR stuff is like the little tech demos as opposed to like the game, like the
I-
full-fledged games. Like I just like
this
little tech
this
demo
to me is a full fledged game because I
Okay.
can play it for like 5 hours.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm also playing Raw Data. Have you played
Yeah,
that?
I've done like the first like pistol training mission on that, and that's all I've played of it so
Okay.
far.
That
Did
game-
it freak you out at first with the hands?
It
Not freak you out, but it's just
it surprised me, and also
Yeah.
it's a little weird because that's like one of the only games that does full body interpretation,
Right.
Where
An
it will
IK system.
like if you're playing with someone else, it will show you their entire body. And you can see their arms and their hands, and a lot of games just show like a fake torso and some floating hands and a head. But when you're in your first person, like you can see your arms and like your
Up
hands.
to- yeah, you
but then
get
they cut it
some of
off
the
for some
forearm.
weird reason.
well,
I guess
yeah,
it's
I can tell you why. Probably it's
because
because
probably can't interpret where it's actually supposed to go.
well, that's a problem with
But-
an IK system or an FBIK system, which is it's an animation rigging system that's called inverse kinematics. So it figures out where your body's going based on certain points. But yeah, typically with an IK arm, you have a little thing that sits out here that controls where the elbow is. It's your basically your pivot or your
But
axis.
it's not necessarily where your real elbow is.
But it doesn't have one.
so
it's-
having that full length arm would kind of go like over
yeah,
here somewhere.
I can
weird.
bet you that elbow
when
is
you're
doing
moving
like
your arm sporadically, it doesn't quite keep up with
it
it.
doesn't know if it's pointed up or
Yeah.
down. Like, I mean, all it knows is where your wrist is. It
So-
can know this, but you could do this. And as far as it knows, you did this or you did that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So raw data is probably the most polished and sort of not. I don't want to say it's fleshed out, but it's still early access. So it only has 4 different missions you can play right now. But there are 2 character classes, and like you have unlocks for the characters. For example, like the ninjas, you start off with a ninja sword that you can throw, and
There we
then
go.
like control it. There's a ninja sword, and you can throw it and control the direction it comes back. Eventually, you get special abilities like with the ninja, you can jump up into the air and slam the ground, or
Looks really
do things
cool.
like use the force, like you basically
looks
throw people
sick
around.
as fuck.
Right, and it's basically you can teleport around these levels, and it's a wave based game, so it isn't quite like a full like you're going through missions and not being on a single platform, but it's really polished for what it is, and it's co-op. So being able to do this with your friends is a fucking blast.
It's a lot of fun.
For me, the co-op experiences are what sell the Vive. I can tell you, I would not spend half the time I do in it if I didn't have my friend playing along with me.
That makes sense.
Are you using the mic built into the Vive?
No,
for
I
communication?
call my friend on my phone. I just put my
Really?
headphones
Okay.
in. Yeah.
So you just don't like the
It's
mic
not that
quality? Or
it's not that I don't. I don't like. So it's weird. Like for the Vive mic, it sort of picks up a lot more noise than a regular mic would. And I guess you can actually
More
switch
room
it to a
tone.
headset mic. But when you're in a multiplayer game with a bunch of other people and they're not using push to talk because most of the games don't have it built in, it's just a bunch of noise. So for me, I just like to use my headphones.
That makes sense.
Also, Quiver
Mm-hmm.
is out. It's out in like early alpha, beta. Have you played it?
I played a bit of that.
That game's
Well,
fucking awesome.
I played through the like expository information and then I broke it.
Fair enough. That game is a little janky, but it's free right now, and it is a multiplayer archery game where you're fighting off waves of monsters. And they update it like every fucking week, and they add new stuff like they added a new level last week. They added a better scoring system, better wave bait. Like you can sit on a tower and just shoot off waves of enemies with your friends. And like for me, it's such a good multiplayer experience. Like being able to hang out with my friend in virtual reality feels like I'm not away from him. It's awesome.
It's one of those things that's really great about right now with the VR scene is that all the developers, there seems to be a lot of smaller indie developers, and they're all so excited about what they're doing that you're getting a lot more of those updates. Like the game is constantly refreshing with something new.
I don't know if you visit the subreddit for Vive, but they're very vocal and they talk to the community. Like every week, the H3 VR dev or H3 VR will post like, hey, here's my update for the week, and he'll talk with everyone about what he's doing, and like they'll make suggestions and be like, great, I'll put it in the next update. And like they're very vocal and very like they're very on top of putting out like constant updates and like feedback from their fans they take into account. It's awesome.
We just did have you tried horseshoes, hand grenade, or hot dogs, horseshoes, and hand grenades? Yeah. We just did a VR of the Champions, and that one in the grenade ski ball. Yeah, which is a lot of fun.
That is one of the games that gets updated every week and has had such an immense amount of content added to it.
Do you wish he'd focus in a little bit more, though? Because he's added like 7 proto modes, which some of them have now rolled into out of proto phase, but he's all over the place.
He's probably feeling out what's best. Like, you got to put those things out and like throw a bunch of things to a wall, see what sticks. Like, with Rec Room, they're kind of doing the same thing where they have like 5 or 6 modes, and all of a sudden, everyone, like, when paintball came out, everyone's like, dude, this is the fucking mode. Focus on this. But to be fair, I think all the modes are really fun. So maybe he's doing that. Maybe he's trying to find his space.
Have you tried Alt Space VR? It's a very similar kind of thing.
Yes, and I tried it like probably the first couple weeks that the Vive was out, and there was a little bit of a barrier to entry with like signing up with an account because you have to use their own network, and it was sort of janky. I liked it for what it is at first, but then when you compare it to something like Rec Room that doesn't have like jitteriness, or you don't have to sign up, there's no barrier to entry there. Like there's more games to play, and it for me, I'm not gonna play Alt Space anymore.
Probably.
Enough. Yeah. So, what else have you guys been playing?
Sorry, we were busy. We were having a funny face.
Yeah, you guys were in your own zone. We were in our own zone.
Sorry, VR talk.
Good. Yeah, I mean, I don't use the VR.
That's the best part about VR is we can just shut you guys out.
Exactly. Yeah.
We can shut
you out. Is not that wide. So.
Well, on a related note, though, one of our live viewers at Nessagar says this, and I think we can all discuss this a little bit. He says, the patch talks about real rich people toys. How about discussing a game for people who live in the real world and don't own a house?
Dude.
So let's talk,
Pokemon
Sean Hoskins.
Go.
So I live in an apartment.
First of all, you live in an apartment. Go.
Yeah. I'm not rich. This was like basically the equivalent of a vacation for me, so I'm not going on a vacation. It's like one of those, like, you got to buy yourself a birthday present every now and again, and that's what I did.
And yeah, I mean,
gotta treat
obviously,
yourself.
yeah, there's people that can't afford even that much, but unfortunately, video gaming is frequently defined by the advances in technology. So even if this doesn't affect you now, the future of technology in video games is going to affect you eventually. So the price will come down. If you get excited about this kind of thing, maybe you'll look for the opportunity to get it yourself once further iterations of the technology make it more price available to you. Yeah.
I would also argue that while we talk about Vive a lot, which is a room scale experience, there's also Oculus. Again, that is a similar price point. However, there are tons of VR solutions out there at all kinds of different price points, which range from
options.
Free with Google Cardboard to Samsung Gear VR, which is, you have to have your smartphone, and that's about it.
Well, you still have to have a smartphone for Cardboard as well. So you
so you have to have a smartphone. If you don't have a smartphone, we really can't help you, but
they
also neither can
pretty
much.
You can go play.
But also neither can most technology at this point. We're not going to not talk about consoles because there's a price of entry. So, it is one of those things where we're fortunate enough to be able to invest in some stuff that's on the edge because this is our life.
Like
and
most
this is our
hobbies,
passion.
it costs money to.
Yeah.
This is like the first time I've been on the bleeding edge of a piece of technology, and I couldn't be happier. But you're right, though. Like, VR is going to be expensive up front for people, and unless people buy it now and invest in it, it won't come out for a more consumer grade price. And I hope that like PSVR, more people adopt that because that's
probably going to make it more mainstream for people.
That's pretty. A lot of people already have a PS4, maybe not a gaming PC. It's a lot cheaper. Like, hopefully these sort of steps we're taking in like 5 or 6 years, we're going to see like $400 VR headsets that are badass. So, but yeah, you're right.
Eventually, it always comes down. I mean, that's
as long as people adopt it.
Because it's still like a relatively new thing, so it's just like exciting, and everyone wants to get onto it. But it's a little more pricey than for most people's budgets right now.
Right.
But I mean, that was the same thing with like old consoles in the '80s. Like people couldn't afford that shit either.
It's also the thing with all PC hardware that's ever come out.
It's like you got to keep up with it.
And then look at the cost of the 1080 right now. It's astronomical. in 2 years,
$700.
that's going to be super cheap.
It's like with everything,
because
though,
it will have come down. That's what
And they'll
electronics
have a new
do.
$700
It was like when
card.
flat screen
Yeah,
TVs.
Right, they're always
absolutely.
gonna have a $700 card. Let's not kid ourselves.
Oh, there
But-
will be. It just won't be the 1080 anymore.
No.
But
That'll be
the
thing that you-
technology
they
of the
throw
1080
away.
will have become a lot easier to make and a lot more affordable. And that's going to be the same thing with VR. There will be more expensive, crazy, whatever VRs. But like what we're talking about now, this is the beginning, and the beginning is always expensive.
I mean, it's like when the PS3 got launched, it was like $5.99. Now you can get them for $30 at GameStop.
I posted a picture of myself swimming in GTX 1080s.
Yeah.
And I got a lot of fucking hate of people like saying, like, give me
that-
one.
wasn't
or
that
whatever.
your-
It's like, I don't even have a 1080. These aren't mine.
Wasn't that your sexy gamer boy photo?
No, it wasn't. But
I thought you were
A lot of the
emulating.
hate was for me. Where's our 1080s?
Oh, did you want some? Listen, I bought it for animation. I don't own a 1080.
he was
by the way.
he was busy
Animation.
rubbing them all over his body.
For animation.
Yes, they've been everywhere.
All right. Well, I don't want those as much anymore.
All
but
right, fair enough.
like if we could get a clean one
Yeah,
that doesn't go through you, that would be great.
through me.
Around you, caressing you,
It's
tangentially.
it's Civet graphics cards.
There we go.
Gross.
You add the special something that just gives them that extra pop.
Would you drink Civet shit coffee?
I have
don't
some at
want to. I
home.
don't even drink
Do you
regular
really?
coffee.
I
Why
do
would I
have-
eat one
I
that's
tried
shit
it.
out?
Yeah, absolutely. Of course, I had to drink shit coffee,
Oh, dude, I want to try it sometime.
dude. Come over. We'll have some shit coffee.
Is it
I'm
extra
so into
smooth?
that.
I honestly, I couldn't tell the difference between that and like my normal everyday coffee. So
Do you put cream and sugar in your coffee?
no.
You're a monster.
Okay, so you're like a straight up normal coffee drinker.
Yeah, I
And
drink
you
it-
couldn't tell the difference. I like dilute my coffee with cream and sugar.
I mean, I'm not saying that
You
I'm
drink, hold on,
a
you drink it
coffee
black? Is that what you're saying?
savant.
You drink your coffee black?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm the monster.
Apparently. I mean, I drink it with cream and sugar as well.
Yeah.
Unless it's like a flavored creamer.
People like to give me shit. I don't
So
fucking care. It's
what-
caffeine. It's hot and it's delicious.
Exactly.
It's like when you go to Starbucks or something and you get the frappuccino with
I
the
don't know how to
cream
order a
and
coffee
all
from
that
Starbucks
stuff.
still.
Yeah, what you want is like ice cream or a milkshake or something.
Yeah.
Go get that. Coffee is a different thing.
Mm-hmm.
Coffee is something that's black, preferably a little like so strong it's a little bit chewy and will keep you the fuck awake.
Chewy.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I want.
Chewy coffee?
Civet shit coffee.
Oh,
Gross.
Sludge?
nothing in this
I just like
descriptor
it,
is
I like
appealing.
it very, very strong.
God.
Chewy
But I'm
even.
also like, it's like wine people who they
Don't put
can tell
cream and
you
sugar in
they,
their
they
wine?
can tell you all the different
Oh, yes, like it's
elements of the
earthy
wine.
and
There's
I'm
a,
like,
oaky
there's a
and-
note of cherry with
I'm
a
like,
mocha
I think
finish.
this one's red.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I,
Yeah.
I'm not.
I don't have that
I'll take the
discerning of a
house.
palate.
Yeah, I'm
House
not saying
coffee.
it's not like a sophisticate thing.
So,
I just wanted to say that I drank coffee that came out of a butt. I think that's hilarious.
yeah,
Butt
yeah.
coffee.
It's just like
They wash the
Gross.
butt off, right?
What, how many? What?
I would
But
assume.
here's the thing. Here's the
This is
question.
a- this is a
Like throw it in a
tangent.
colander. and-
Decaffeinated coffee. Decaf is made by washing the beans.
Mm-hmm.
The caffeine is like in the oil on the outside or something. So is Civet coffee decaf or is it just still got poop on
Maybe
it? I
they
don't know.
They wash it,
reintroduce.
but it all comes back together in the end.
They
in
just
the
like
form of a
coat it again
turd.
with the caffeine.
Like they collect the oil from the decaf coffee where they washed it and then they just put it on top of the civet. Civet?
Civet. I
Sounds
think
like
it's
a
Civet.
car.
The coffee is called Copaluac.
Kopaluwak.
Why wouldn't it be?
Gross.
I've always
what
wanted
have
to
you
try
been
it, though.
playing? Yeah, me too.
So I got Microsoft provided us with a couple of codes for We Happy Few for the preview. Just came out on early access on PC, I want to say, and then I saw it on the Xbox dashboard as well. I didn't try getting it because we just use the codes.
Oh, is it on Xbox as well?
It is now, yeah. Game
yeah.
Pass.
So I got it on Xbox. It's weird. Obviously, it's an alpha. It's super, super unfinished. So
Is that like a heavily story-driven game? It's kind of
kind
weird
but
to have an
the only
alpha for.
story is the prologue, which is exactly what they showed at E3,
Okay.
which
Apparently the
is
story isn't in yet.
you right,
Okay.
and it's only the prologue for this
So
one
is it kind
character.
of just like a demo?
Kind of.
Okay.
Well, I've been hearing it's open world. Is that?
It's procedural. So
Procedurally
the world
open.
itself is procedural. So it's supposed to change every time you play it.
Okay.
And theoretically, you can, I think, perma-die, and then you start over again and you explore a new world. I've
check that
gone
out.
through one playthrough of this, so it'll take a little while to actually figure out if that's the case. It's really pretty,
So the
a
art style
creepy
but
looks
it's
good.
game.
very rough still.
It looks. I watched someone play it, and like looks like I would be too scared to play it because it seems like there are some dark spots and some people
It's
showing
pretty freaky.
up and like out of nowhere, and I don't like that stuff. But
Showing up
this
out
is-
of
Here
nowhere.
it is, yeah. I just
Yeah.
don't like the masks.
I got mugged and I died.
You can get. Oh, that's scary.
So it looks awesome.
Like-
but how is the combat? Like in a lot of those like early access survival games, like hitting stuff doesn't feel good, and that's like the main thing you're
was like-
doing is like hitting stuff with a melee weapon.
Not Dead
It's-
Rising. Dead Island didn't have a great
Right.
combat system.
Well, yes, and that was better than some of these. Like it had,
true, yeah.
It had like Dead Island at least had like you could like gesturally
Steve-O.
move your attacks, which is really cool.
Yeah.
This game just seems like it doesn't have a whole lot of collision to the hits, but I mean it looks awesome visually. I actually wasn't expecting it to be an open world survival game. I didn't realize that was.
Well, I think
cool.
we'll see how it continues as it's built out. Like I try not to prejudge too many of the systems this early on. The combat could be more visceral. I've punched dudes and I've hit dudes with I think a shovel, and they went down and everything, but it didn't have the weight to it that it could have. There's some weight, but I'd liken it more to the polish of like Skyrim maybe, where it's like and you panic and you just try and panic the other guy dead, as opposed to something. And I keep equating the game to like a BioShock because that's the way it
looked like a BioShock.
visually presents in a
Totally,
lot of
it feels
ways,
a lot like
early
that,
on
yeah.
at least. So that's the game that
That's what I got
want to
the
keep
vibe
drawing
for,
parallels
like
to,
the
even though
combat.
apparently the developers truly don't like that. But it doesn't have like that kind of weight. Like if I hit someone with a lead pipe, I don't feel like it would feel like hitting them with a lead
Like it doesn't have any weight
Have
to
you
it.
have you played?
Not a lot of weight, not yet.
Okay.
But that could
Hopefully that'll
obviously
come with
change
some
as it gets
polishing
polished.
and-
have
yeah,
you played
updated.
Condemned?
No,
Those
because
games
that's
have-
a
That game
full-on
scared
scary
the piss
game.
out of me.
That is a full-on scary game, but it has maybe like my favorite first-person melee combat in any game because it's so weighty and so visceral.
It's very rewarding.
Yeah, like,
But it
God,
is-
that game's awesome. If they could make a game, like, if they could add that combat system to pretty much any
make it less
survival
scary,
game, I'm
please.
in. But,
It's
yeah.
less scary.
Yeah, I can't play.
Like, who
fully
knows what they're
scary
gonna do with
games.
Resident
I
Evil
play
7.
with a friend. Like, I'll invite a friend over and be like, here, let's alternate. You play 70% of the time. I'll play 30.
Yeah, I'll like sit
I'll
in the
watch from
sit in the
behind the
back
couch
corner
cushions.
on a couch, just going,
Right.
and then eventually
I'm going to
leave
build a
because I'm
fort.
too scared.
Yeah.
But yeah, so far I enjoyed what I played. Some of the aiming could stand to be a little bit more forgiving, at least on console. It feels like it's probably programmed and balanced a little bit more towards PC at the
Kind of
moment.
twitchy.
Yeah, it's a little bit more
Okay.
twitchy, and so I had trouble aiming at really small stuff on
Yep.
the screen sometimes. Other than that, I'm looking forward to seeing more of it for sure. I didn't realize, basically until we got the codes, that it was even coming out to early access
Yeah.
at this point. It's a weird choice to me to do that.
Sorry, this is an interesting
is it?
post
That's a
that just
bold
happened
statement.
to coincide
bold
with what we're talking
statement?
about. It's just right now, 19 minutes ago in Kotaku. You can finish We Happy Few in 2 minutes.
I bet.
Speedrunners, man. They can
I
finish
bet
it.
I can finish it.
Doesn't have to be.
I wonder what you do. I
I'll
don't know how to
look it up.
finish it
Give
at
me a
this
second.
point.
Well, there are some minor spoilers ahead
I'm not.
for a
That's
game
fine.
that doesn't have a story yet.
You know.
Yeah, I mean, can you spoil a game that's not even made?
I don't. Maybe.
Maybe the story is
I'd have to watch a video to find out.
Oh, well.
So there you go.
Well, we'll see. I'm hoping to play a little bit more, so maybe we can
I mean, there are other games that you
we
can
can
finish
circle
in 2
back
minutes.
to it next week.
Like Shadow Complex,
Missed.
Far Cry 4.
That was like 10 minutes.
Okay, well,
That's true, yeah, if you just wait, yeah.
One of my smuggest moments in gaming was knowing that I could finish Mist so quickly. Just got me like, got the final page, put it in, and go, suck it.
nailed it.
Yeah, I had to look it up, but I won.
You did it, though. Who
I
cares?
did. So I've been playing that, and I've also been playing I Am Setsuna, because that came out last week. It's so I Am Setsuna is an indie. It's a turn-based JRPG with the story very reminiscent of Final Fantasy X. Is about the shortest way I can summarize that. Have you guys played? Or are you familiar with Final Fantasy X?
I know
I
what it
haven't
is.
played 10.
I don't. That's all I know.
Okay,
know
so
10, yeah.
the story basis there is
Here it is on the screen, actually.
crazy scary monster stuff. Nice girl has to go sacrifice herself and die, and then the monster will be at bay. So this Setsuna, the title character, is the girl who's going. She has to go and travel to the Lost Lands or the End Lands or some terrible, the place where she dies lands, and then she has to die. And you, the main character, you play as like a guard essentially, and you end up with a party. It's turn-based. Everyone has their own kind of class and specialties, and you can do like partner moves in the combat. I'm only a little ways into it because I've had some real fucking problems with it. It's great. It's indie and it feels indie. Like it doesn't have quite the level of polish you would hope. But then it also has some straight up goddamn problems, at least on PC, which is where I'm playing.
It's like
Such
game breaking.
vehemence.
Here's an example of my biggest fucking problem. I couldn't even start the game if I had an Xbox controller plugged into my PC.
Interesting. Do you have to like start the game and then plug the controller in, or it just doesn't work?
Did
with
just
the
not
Sort
work
of.
with the controller.
You just
period?
can't work a menu if you have an Xbox controller plugged in.
So
Okay.
is
Huh.
does it support controllers?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. So
Whoops.
it's one of those.
it's
Does it
one
work
of
with a
those.
Steam controller, maybe, or
Is it built in Unity?
It works with the PS4 controller. I figured that out, so I ended up playing with the PS4 controller. Supposedly, it works with the Xbox 360 controller. I couldn't tell you because I don't remember where my Xbox 360 PC controllers are. I haven't used them in years. So I couldn't test that, but the button mapping looks like an Xbox 360 button mapping. Like when I plug the PS4 controller in, it doesn't seem to know that it's a PS4 controller, in spite of the fact that the other platform that the game is available on is PS4. And I think Vita, the mapping is the ABXY start select of a 360 controller.
Interesting.
Cool.
It's really fucking weird.
maybe it's
So-
just they weren't ready for the Xbox One controllers. That might make more sense because those 360 controllers are still everywhere.
Yeah,
They
I still
are.
have one.
Unless you're at my house and I can't fucking find it. So I'm just really glad that the PS4 controller worked because I was at wit's end. It's a game that's made with a controller in mind. It's a console JRPG. You use the thumbsticks.
Like limited controls.
Yeah, so you can use the keyboard, but it doesn't feel as natural as using the controller. At least it didn't for me. And having to unplug that anytime and then use the keyboard anytime I needed to navigate a menu, like, for example, do you want to rename this character? No, I don't want to rename the goddamn character. Let me fucking play. So I've
Would the
been a
menus
little
like
bit
interrupt
heated
your
about
gameplay
that.
that you would have to like?
In the middle of the game, I'd have to unplug the controller.
That is annoying.
Like
Oh, that's
completely
awful.
unplug it, use the keyboard, and then plug it back in.
Like I
That
thought you meant like
sucks.
initially like that sucks, but at least you only have to do it once. But if it keeps popping up,
no,
it's like
it was constant.
that's kind of a game breaker.
That's way more. That's like way further than I would take it. If that was on Steam, refund.
It's on Steam.
Refund. Like
Wow.
those are way
Have you already
too,
played it? What, 15 hours, 10 hours?
way too many bugs.
2 hours, I think, is the limit.
Is it 2? Oh wow.
I think
okay.
it's 2 hours for Steam.
Which is fair. I mean, if you're gonna
Yeah,
play,
no,
if you
absolutely.
get into a
Fair
game
enough.
like that and you have to unplug your controller constantly to play it, like that's probably worth a refund. And if you want to pick it up later when they fix that shit. But
No,
Yeah.
I mean, again, it may be that this is a smaller issue or a smaller affecting issue. Going back to the person's comment earlier, the market saturation for Xbox One stuff is not great. I mean, there's not a lot of people, especially people that are dedicated PC players, that have Xbox One controllers. So you could be in a very small minority of people that have this issue.
yeah, but
really think
I mean,
so?
do
Yeah.
you think it's like abusive of using a Steam refund system?
No, I don't think it is. But I think you could also, hopefully, it would be something they could address pretty easily. It could be, as long as it's not broken for other controller types.
Right.
Hopefully, they would just go, oh, you know what? We should try it with an Xbox One controller.
Totally.
I
I'm
see the
just
problem.
I'm in the camp of like, if I buy a game and I want to play it, like
Yeah.
I'm going to play it. You know, I don't want to wait around for the patch on Monday or whatever it is. Or Wednesday at 4 o'clock.
So the all of Twitter is telling us how to get the super quick ending. In We Happy Few.
okay.
It's not really a spoiler. When you start playing the game, there are two options. You start
Take a
being depressed.
joy.
You can either throw the joy away and go nah, and then the game starts, or you can take it and that's the end.
Oh, that's
Okay.
so not.
All right, so it's definitely one of those,
Cool.
like,
Yeah.
it's going to be an achievement, basically.
Yeah,
It's the,
that's the
Yeah, yeah. So that's
I
about
wish,
it.
like, I wish
don't
I
consider
wish
that
you
a
could
spoiler
take
at all.
the joy and then continue playing the game, but then you were just in a multiplayer game and you were the bad guys. All the bad guys are populated by people that took their
It's an
joy.
interesting idea. It's like if you took the red pill or the blue pill and red pill or the blue pill in the Matrix.
Yeah.
If you could become an agent.
Yeah, that'd be fucking cool. God, that MMO, that was a good one. It's gone now.
The
Matrix
Matrix
The
MMO.
Matrix.
Never played it. Was it actually?
fucking cool?
I vaguely remember
alright,
it, but I never played it as
They
well.
could-
Good
been-
is very relative, but it was really cool. I like watching the server shutdown video. It was
Well, the
awesome.
problem with something like a Matrix Online video, and this was one of the reasons that I never really tried Elder Scrolls Online. It's a problem that's going to be with a lot of game worlds, I think, is that with something like that, you're used to being the hero, like the special one, the one who, for whatever reason, is fated to save us all. And when you're running around in a world of some odd million, the chosen ones,
Yeah.
it gets a lot less special really fast.
There was you remember Star Wars Galaxies? Mm-hmm. Before they updated it, there was a certain before this certain update, like being a Jedi was a really rare thing, and then they updated it so you can just roll Jedi. So like they had that thing you're talking about where like everyone wants to be the hero, but you're really not. Like you have to actually like work really harder to get really fucking lucky, and then wow, you're a fucking Jedi. And you're
Yeah,
like
but no
god.
one wants. I agree with you, but no one wants to say that the thing that I want most to do in this game is based on RNG, and it's a real rare.
I'm not
RNG.
disagreeing with you.
Yeah.
but like those sort of ideas and concept are really cool. It's just hard to execute them on them in practice.
Yeah, so really, if you think about it, the world's like a World of Warcraft or something, where you're happy to just be someone in the world. That's what really takes a lot of like, very special world building. They have to get that really, really right to make you still feel awesome and be happy with it, even though you're just the same as everybody else, instead of being like, I was born to be special.
No,
Yeah.
it's okay, honey. You're not special.
That's
You're
like
just
what-
like
that's-
everybody else.
That's one genre I never got into was
MMOs?
MMOs. I never got into
love
any
MMOs.
MMOs. Like I
There's-
never played Warcraft, never played Star Wars Galaxies. I'm a big Star Wars fan. It just like didn't really appeal to me.
I am working at Rooster Teeth because of an MMO. Like I
There you go.
fucking love MMOs.
Well, that's the way to look at it.
I there's nothing on the horizon though. Like I don't know if you guys play MMOs, but there's nothing coming out.
I
Really?
do not.
No, I heard that. Yeah,
Well,
Got it.
I feel like MOBAs have really taken over that niche.
Yes.
With
that's
developers.
not even the close. I get what you're saying.
I don't think
I see what
they're
you're saying.
remotely close in terms of execution, but I think
That's like the
that
bandwagon people are hopping on.
Yeah, remember there was a period of time for a couple years where it seemed like every game that was coming out was an MMO,
Sure.
and it was everyone trying to be the next World of Warcraft. Although I also used to think that like World of Warcraft was the next EverQuest, and everyone was trying to be that next big
Yeah.
thing, and they were all MMOs. And now they're all trying to do the next League of Legends.
Yeah,
You know,
I hope
the
that,
next Dota.
I hope that they make a shift. I hope Blizzard makes a StarCraft MMO.
My memory on the timeline is a little shifty here, but so I know at one point Warcraft introduced the arenas, which was that an attempt to grab the MOBA audience back, or was that like an early MOBA?
The arenas, like arenas in WoW, were not MOBA at all.
Well, they sort of were. They were.
You're thinking of
if you
like-
skip the creep.
Okay, are you thinking of like Alterac Valley? The arenas in WoW were like
I'd played
2v2,
very little.
3v3 deathmatch.
Yeah,
Where
there
you
was,
just-
well, there was one there like a 5v5,
Yeah, but it was just like you would just fight each other.
kind of, but there were objectives too, right?
As far as I remember, it was literally just killing each other.
Yeah, okay.
But there were like different game modes like Alterac Valley and Warsong Gulch and stuff that had like a
There was
little
like a
bit more.
CTF mode, wasn't there?
Those game types had a little bit more to them. Yes.
Yeah.
They were. I guess you can kind of say them as MOBA-esque. Sure. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know if that predated like Dota 2. Or,
No, because
or
Dota was a Warcraft mod, a Warcraft 3 mod.
Yeah.
So
Well, that doesn't necessarily mean that it was made prior to Warcraft.
when
World of
Warcraft 3 was out, when I was like, God, maybe
Yeah,
I don't
but
know.
man, people like
Warcraft 3's been out a
There's
long
been
time.
stuff that has been developed and modded on platforms
I think that Dota, the mod for
Yeah.
Warcraft, was out before
Okay.
anything like that was for a while.
I wonder if it had, at what point in that popularity arc that was introduced, or if that maybe just helped push MOBAs forward. I don't know. It'd be really interesting just to see where
Yeah.
those two fell.
Yeah, I just hope more MMOs come out because I need them.
They're having such trouble keeping the ones they've got running. I mean, they're all going free to play just to stay sort of relevant.
It's because like none of them have really hit that mark.
Mm-hmm.
Like I play a lot of MMOs when they come out, and none of them just quite scratch that same itch that like the original WoW did, or Star Wars: The Old Republic was probably the last
That's
one.
the
that
only one I
played.
really wanted to invest into, but I don't have a PC, so I never got
I
into
got
it.
you. Yeah, no, I totally get that.
I was just like kind of flabbergasted they didn't port it to the Mac. I was like kind of just like
yeah, that sucks.
I was just
can
like
see that.
I always thought it was a huge game. I was like, this is an opportunity to like get the Mac players to like get into the MOBAs, and then it's just
Yeah.
like, all right, MMO, sorry, yeah, and I was just like, I was just disappointed by that, so I just never got into it. But
I get that.
I'm a huge Star Wars guy, but I never played that game. But
It was cool for its time.
yeah, and I heard it didn't have a long shelf life.
So just looking this up, it looks like PvP arenas were launched December of 2006 for World of Warcraft. Warcraft 3 Dota release date, Defense of the Ancients, was released.
Would you really consider Dota 1 to be the first real mainstream MOBA, though?
Yeah,
feels
it was
like
the
Dota 2 seems to be when it started really hitting, though.
First off, no, because LoL
Okay.
was way before Dota 2, and I think right around that same time was Heroes and New Earth, which
Yeah.
were huge like 6-7 years ago. Heroes and New Earth kind of fell off, but LoL has only grown.
Mm-hmm.
And then Dota 2 kind of came out a couple years ago in like an early access beta form, and then went to full launch, and that's huge now. So now it's like LoL and Dota 2. But Dota, the original Dota, was like the grandfather of MOBAs, as far as I know.
But you'd
so-
say maybe League of Legends is the one that really pushed it to the prime time.
Yeah, League of Legends was
Okay.
like the
Yeah, and I'm not
the
sure
big dog.
exact timeline. I'm not sure the date, but I know that Ice Frog has been developing it since 2000. Was developing Dota since 2005. So I don't know if that means it came out 2005 or if he took over development
I
of
gotcha.
a mod that already existed
So
in
that's real
2005.
close.
I'm a little bit shifty on that because it was a little while ago.
Yeah.
And quick correction, thanks to fact
Mm-hmm.
checker Caden, Dota was 200003, World of Warcraft 2004.
boom.
Okay.
So we know
World of-
Still a
I
decade
remember,
of
I remember,
arenas.
The
I
chicken
remember
came
friends
before the
playing Dota like when I was very young.
Yeah, I don't know. By that point, by the time World of Warcraft came out in 2004, I had already sworn off MMOs.
Really?
Absolutely, I played.
Swear back into
You
them?
missed the big one.
No, I swore them off because I had a kind of addictive personality, and my grades plummeted in my final years of high school thanks to EverQuest.
Totally.
And I went through EverQuest, Asheron's Call 2, EVE Online, and then Shadowbane. And after that, I was like, I swore it off.
College was cool because
do it.
when Wrath of the Lich King came out, I just could like not go to class and play Wrath of the Lich King all the time, and I did really poorly in school. Because of that game.
StarCraft is
So
the
you
first
say
game.
it sounds cool, but that's not cool. That's bad.
cool at all,
That's
dude.
the opposite of good.
It's so dangerous. Those games are fucking awesome though.
Yeah.
I
But who
love
cares if
MMOs.
you're like a level 600 in World of
Yeah,
Warcraft?
dude, I was like
Who cares?
first level 70. Just
There you go.
StarCraft is, I think, the first game I ever played hooky for.
Really?
Yeah.
Like the original, or
Yeah, it's the original. We skipped English class, went over to a friend's house and played it for a little bit, and then was like, we should go back to school.
so? Have you played the entire
Was just not
new
good. You
trilogy?
just felt guilty.
I just felt guilty.
Okay.
oh.
Did you play the new trilogy at all?
No.
The StarCraft 2? You? Yeah.
I have not played I played Wings of Liberty.
Okay,
And
so you haven't played the subsequent two
No,
games.
but did you see that they made a fucking fan-made MMO that went into open beta today?
I did not.
Yeah, a couple years ago when Wings of Liberty came out, someone started working on a fan-made MMO that was StarCraft, and like they just launched an open beta today. And if you look at it, it's like it looks kind of like WoW. Like it has like your action bar there in the center, kind of neat little UI, and
And
you play-
Blizzard's cool with this.
I think for a while they weren't, and then something happened. I didn't pay attention to the news stories, but it's out in open beta. Go check it out. I'm fucking so interested in that.
Play it now. It won't be there tomorrow.
If I think by this coming out, that means that Blizzard is never making a StarCraft MMO. Otherwise, it would have killed this a long time ago.
Or they'll buy it.
I mean, is it branded as StarCraft, or did they just have to change the branding around?
It's called StarCraft 2.
Starflaft.
Oh.
Shit. Yeah, I'm surprised that made it out, honestly. I mean, Blizzard,
Unless they have no
did
interest
bring
in doing
in,
it.
like, Blizzard brought in the
No, they still
vanilla
have to
World of
defend their
Warcraft
trademark.
server guys to at least have
Yeah.
a discussion after they shut the vanilla servers
Yeah.
down. But, even that, it's like, they shut it down. They have to protect their legal property. So maybe these guys went through some kind of official
A
licensing.
loophole or
They
is
even
this-
made a trailer.
Is
What
this
is
it right
this
here?
What is this trailer? This cannot be the trailer for the game.
This
Maybe
looks like
it is.
a regular Blizzard
No,
trailer.
They loaned him like
you know
one
what?
CG guy.
You know what?
Is that
I think I was
Garrus
reading in
before
the
weight
in the
loss?
comments that there was a CG trailer for it, but I could be totally wrong. This could just be a StarCraft trailer. This is
There- I
definitely,
mean,
this is
one of-
definitely not fan made.
This is, yeah,
Well,
this
no,
is Blizzard
honestly,
quality.
StarCraft has people that do fan-made stuff that is as good as Blizzard level.
No fucking way.
Seriously, no. We hired a guy for RVB 10 based off of a StarCraft 2 fan-made movie thing that he made, which was all these space battles. It was amazing. A lot of like our
Blizzard-
really awesome space stuff from RVB 10
Dude,
was a
Blizzard-
fan guy.
That's crazy.
Yeah, no, and he was it was like he had stripped it down. Like his production pipeline was so tight, and he worked in Max, and he had like this specific like rendering pipeline and how he composited it based on that, and his stuff looked amazing.
Where is that guy now?
I don't know. I need to look it up. I will show you the thing afterwards.
I'm really
and find it.
curious. That's awesome.
'Cause that was why we hired him, was because we saw his stuff and it was like,
Holy shit.
it's basically that guy did a lot of the space stuff from RVB 10 by himself.
There are two
And
companies
his
that
wife.
make my favorite CG. It's Blizzard and their trailers, and I don't know if you're familiar with a company named Blur, but they make the trailers
Yep.
for a
A lot of
lot
them.
of things. Like if you've seen the Dark Souls trailers, those are Blur. The Old Republic trailers were Blur.
Those are some good ass trailers.
Good fucking trailers, dude.
Those are better than all the prequel movies.
You
But
know,
yeah.
in a lot of ways, it seems like it'd be fun to make CGI trailers. It's like or CG trailers, just because, first of all, you get to work on lots of crazy new stuff all the time. You get to work with a lot of huge, really exciting properties and like crazy characters, but you don't have to commit to any of them for a long time.
Right.
get to like move from like one to the next to the next. And you're always like shifting through properties. That seems like a good time.
Seems cool. Yeah.
Also, MMOs always have like the greatest looking trailers.
Fuck yeah, they do.
And it's like MMOs
because you cannot show MMO gameplay and try to sell
Exactly. Because like MMO gameplay, it's like it's not the most
Hearthstone,
polished. They're never like the most polished looking games.
No.
But it's just like their trailers are just like movie quality. They're phenomenal.
It's one of those things like watching people play MMOs is so hard because if you're into the MMO, I get it. But if you're not, just seeing people like push action bars and kind of run around is like, it's not very exciting to
Exactly.
see.
It's like watching like a lightsaber fight, like they're doing, and then in the game it's like,
For me, like, yeah, for playing it though, it's like, this is fucking awesome. But it's like conveying that to someone else, you need a cool trailer.
There was, hold on, I'm gonna look up this artist. There was actually an electronic artist years and years ago who did a song about Dota.
A song about Dota.
Do you remember
some weird fans out there?
There was a song about World of Warcraft.
Base Hunter, yeah,
Do you remember?
He did two. One was about Dota, and another one was about an IRC bot that turns out to be a real girl.
Do you remember a show called Pure Ownage? They're actually
Yes.
still around, but they made a World of Warcraft song way back when. That was on my iPod original for quite a while. Fucking those guys are awesome.
God bless it.
What else are you guys playing?
Well, actually, wasn't there some big news about the NX this week?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
this
Is it true?
This isn't
I don't
news.
like.
This
I've
is
seen
rumor.
a bunch of rumors.
Okay.
It's a rumor.
That's
It is.
the question.
It's rumor / leak. It's yet to be confirmed by
It's
Nintendo.
been on multiple different sources.
Yeah. So this biggest one, or this week's, was is broke by Eurogamer and confirmed some stuff from previous leaks / rumors, but then contradicted others. So it's the kind of thing where we'll see when they finally announce it. We'll see which ones were on point. But it basically rumor in terms of Rumorville reality confirmed cartridges
Yep.
as the medium.
You're
And
shaking your head. You're unhappy about
But like,
cartridges.
how big? Like what justifies a cartridge?
It's
like,
fucking bizarre.
A cartridge
Why
can hold
move
up
away
to
from
32
digital?
gigabytes
Like, still
now, though.
refusal to embrace digital is a
okay. Because,
Well, it's not necessarily saying they won't
because, like, I
have
don't know, like-
downloadable stuff, but that their physical media will be cartridge based, and a cartridge can do up to 32 gigs now. So
How big do you think the physical cartridge? Do you think it's gonna be like a PS Vita, like little like
they could
SD
just-
cards?
They
Or do
could
you think
just
it's gonna
sell
be like a
SD
cartridge
cards
cartridge?
instead, but I mean, like,
yeah, but
it is
you
bizarre.
can't make those proprietary as easily.
Right. This is bizarre to me that people are using cartridges still. Like, I get it.
if I was them, I would shape them like the classic game cartridges.
Yeah, like old NES or
Yeah,
SNES.
but just
very
like little
tiny.
versions.
little
Yeah,
versions
it's
of
like
that.
the
That'd be
little
kind of
things
cool.
you see on keychains.
Yeah, I'm already sold on the idea. I'm
So
excited.
cute. Are you? Did you?
Well,
did
you want to buy it based on the cuteness factor?
dude, what do you think
Yeah.
Japan does?
I guess that's fair. I mean, that was like the whole amiibos. Of course, didn't they just shut those down?
They shut down Amiibos? What are you talking about?
No,
bro?
no, you're
Disney
thinking,
Infinity.
you're thinking
No,
of
that's it.
Disney
They shut down.
Infinity.
Yeah.
I
Amiibo's
almost got
doing
Disney
just fine.
Infinity the week before they announced it. I'm like,
Boy, did you
save
dodge a
myself a
bullet.
lot of money.
I kind of want to like go
Now
to the
they're
toy
collector's
warehouse.
items.
Where
I
they
know. It's just like,
they
I
have
just
a
like the
bunch of
figures.
excess toys, and I was like, I'm gonna go to the toy warehouse where they're selling those for like discounts because I love the figures. I'm a big figure guy. But did you say anything else about the NX besides the cartridge thing?
So cartridges, they're saying that it's
basically
going to
like
be
an
a portable
iPad.
console.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So think like
It's like an
there's
iPad
a
with,
lot
like,
of
controllers on
laptops
the
now
side of it.
where the brains live in the monitor, and then you can disconnect the keyboard, chuck it away,
Yep.
and then you can take
It's like a tablet.
you can take the whole thing away as a tablet. That it's going to be kind of like that for a console, where it'll have detachable controllers, and then you can take the controller with you.
Sure.
And it will still be a console. TBD about whether that means you're dealing with different gameplay altogether, like maybe they have an on-the-go battery saver version of games, or if it's just a lower resolution, lower frame rate version of the full games. Not really sure. And then what else? What was it?
I guess
So
spec-wise, it's
cartridges,
it's
controllers.
The
better.
thing, I mean, you mentioned
Running on
you can
Tegra.
you plug it into a TV, and so I don't know. How do you? For me, buying a portable console now, it sort of feels antiquated, unless they do one of two things. Like, I don't want to play a portable console that doesn't have cellular service because, like, for example, Pokemon Go is fucking awesome. You can walk outside, go anywhere, and you can play because it has cell phone service, and you're playing using data. I would want that on my portable consoles so that I could play things like multiplayer games while I'm driving, or not while driving, but like while I'm on a train or something. Yes, playing. Yeah, when I'm on a train or something like that, or in an airport, whatever. But at the same time, I wouldn't want to pay for it. So like, I'd want the service, but I don't want to pay for it. I'd rather just like piggybacks off my already existing phone service. Like, I want something I can't have, basically. So I don't know if I'm going to buy the I don't know if I'm going to buy the console, because it feels sort of like behind in technology compared to like a cell phone. Not saying cell phones are better than like portable like 3S and stuff like that, but because of the like access to internet anywhere, it's a big thing. And like being able to download games wherever you are. Like, I don't like the thing where you have to like, you know, stay home, download a game off the 3DS store, and then like go home, and if you know you missed one, you have to go hook up on someone's Wi-Fi or something like that. So I don't know, maybe I'm crazy. What do you think about that?
I mean, I like handheld gaming. I love my 3DS, so it's something that I've been more than happy to deal with because I enjoy it, and I also enjoy handheld on-the-go consoles like the 3DS as opposed to something like mobile phone gaming, because it's a specialized console and it's going to be better at what it does than a jack of all trades, which is what I feel like mobile phones are. So I like Pokemon Go. I am playing Pokemon Go on my phone. Had I the choice, I would probably be playing it on a 3DS, but it's not on 3DS.
So if I just gave you the option to hook up a controller to your phone that was attached to it while you played your games, and like theoretically, like it's still a really powerful phone, like, and you could play, if they made better games for it, like 3DS style games, like you could play those on the phone if you have the control surface. So like, if you had that controller, would you just play that?
I'm not 100% sure what you're asking. So
I'm
basically,
saying,
like, if it had all the functionality of a phone, but also had the control input of a 3DS?
Right.
Yeah, because I think the control input is one of the things that really does it for me. But there are control inputs for mobile phones like that turn it into a controller, and I don't use those because it still feels kind of janky.
It's janky and it's not widely adopted or made well, but like, if Nintendo made this thing where it was actually just an attachment for your phones, like, maybe that would be the answer to that. I don't know.
And what speaks in your favor with that regard is the issue, though, with having dedicated hardware like that is your phone is probably a lot more powerful than anything that they would put together, because if they tried to sell you a handheld device that matched what a phone could do, it'd be $500-$600. And most of your phones are subsidized by your cell carrier. Well, they used to be. Nowadays, sometimes you have to buy them straight out, or at least they spread them out over your contract. So you don't really notice the price of your phone, even though it's way more powerful than you would definitely notice the price of a handheld device purely made for that.
Yeah, and that is actually like a great point, that we use our phones for so many things that we can justify a higher cost, and they are more powerful. I would argue, I don't know the specs offhand, but my phone feels more powerful than my 3DS. Yeah. But I guess I like the more traditional feel. I don't like, I touch screens on phones, great, all that sort of stuff, but as the only control input, I don't like, which is one of the reasons that I don't play more mobile games.
What is your, like, where do you play most of your 3DS games? Because for me, it's literally at home in bed. I can't, for some reason, if I'm on a plane, I can't focus on something for too long, unless it's like a movie that I'm just kicking back and watching, and even then it feels weird. And even if I'm a passenger in a car, I can't play it at all.
For me, it starts on the go, and then I get really into the game, and then I finish it at home because I don't want to put it down.
That makes sense.
Right.
And I don't have to, and nobody can make me.
Right. So that's sort of like, for me, that's like, I know that's a very specific to me case, but like most of my games are played at home. Like even my phone games that I'm really into, except for Pokemon Go, I'll sit in my bed and play it till I've had my fill of it, and that's it. Like,
the crazy thing about phones right now is this is going to be basically most people's first 4K gaming platform, because most phones nowadays, especially the newer models, are all 4K screens. That's where people are getting 4K displays, and they probably don't even realize it largely. Yeah. I mean, you're the average public that doesn't care about screen resolution, but that's what makes it a viable VR platform, is because of the resolution of the screen. Which,
kind of circling back around to our discussion at the very beginning of the patch, is why I think mobile phones have a larger role to play in VR than people realize. Like, if you have a 4K screen right there, you can do, people can do a lot with it, and as we've just been discussing, mobile phones are a lot more powerful than people realize. They're nowhere near an actual gaming PC, obviously, but they can do a lot
relative to their size. Yeah.
The best part, though, being that, like, if it's here, then I don't have to touch it. I can do this. I like my controllers.
Yeah. That's where they're kind of lagging behind, is they've really got to step up the control input, and they've got to figure out a reliable way to do positional tracking.
My God, if I like Bluetooth controllers, like if I could just use the PS4 controller, or I think the new Xbox controllers, are those going to be Bluetooth? Did I hear something about that?
I don't know. I haven't heard that.
So they're
With the one with the S coming out,
Maybe,
the S controllers.
maybe. I don't know. I can't
don't know
remember.
that they redo the radio. Then you wouldn't have interchangeability between the platforms.
Look, it's entirely possible that was just a wonderful dream that I had.
Sounds like a good
But
dream.
if I had like a Bluetooth Xbox controller with like that would work with the phone and a VR headset, I'm on board.
That is like sort of a thing. People have modded. I don't know if it's. I think it was like Nintendo emulators to run with like your phones and have Bluetooth input from the Nintendo controllers to play those games. Not involving the VR stuff at all, but like they've modded controllers to work with, or not modded, but they made controllers work with headphones or cell phones via Bluetooth.
Yeah, I feel like one of the easiest things to do that with probably would be the PS4 controller at the moment, right? Because that does have a Bluetooth signal.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So that'd be cool.
But they do sell controllers specifically for like phone gaming. Like I think Nvidia makes a couple.
The Shield, right?
That's a tablet.
Is that a tablet
well, they've
or
got
is that?
they used to have a.
I thought
controller as well,
Shield was
though.
like a
it was a
line of things they
controller.
had.
Well, I think it was a controller with a screen built into it.
I thought that was like.
But I don't know
that
that they
was a
still sell
cloud-based
it.
tablet. I'm pretty sure it's still out.
No, they still have the cloud-based tablet. They used to have it was a controller with a screen mounted on
Like a
it.
clam.
That's what the
It's like
Shield
a
is,
clamshell,
right?
right?
Well, no, the Shield is now, they've got multiple versions of Shield. There's one that's like almost like a set-top box, which you can use to just connect your.
It's like Steam Link.
It's basically, yeah. I think maybe I'm misremembering, but yeah.
it's just actually a Steam Link. Just
Well,
not-
it was the Shield tablets and Shield devices were the precursor to the Steam Links.
Okay.
Because you could use them actually as what the role a Steam Link now serves. Is you could stream games to them from your PC.
Right.
Okay, yeah, they do have a controller, and I think that's what I was thinking of. So, yeah, but it goes with their
Yes.
other Shield components.
Oh yes, that's the controller I remember, but had a screen attached to it.
Yeah, I think they discontinued that one.
That was
Because
one
of those, like, a clamshell?
Well, I don't even think it clamshelled because it didn't fit into the controller.
Oh, it didn't at all?
I mean, it may have folded down.
It did.
Oh, it
Like
did
the
fit?
controller, like the inputs were depressed a little bit, so you can fold it down.
But did like the
Okay.
nubs like hit the screen so you get like those little rings on the screen whenever you open it up?
potentially, but that's all character.
Right about the time I was like, maybe I'll buy one of those. They were like, nah, we don't sell them anymore.
Yeah.
It's
all right.
It's like I
fine.
never like thought I would like be interested in in mobile gaming enough that I would put that much money into like buying one of those, because then it was like only like Android based games, correct? Is that what it was?
Well,
basically
the
like
main
controller?
thing that the main selling point for Shield was that you could stream Steam games to it.
Right.
So it was
That-
basically
okay,
useful just
that
to play
makes
your
it more
PC
worth it.
games.
Okay, but you still couldn't play those on the go. You could only play them with a
You
Wi-Fi
still would have to
connection.
be on a Wi-Fi connection
Yeah,
to
see,
your
again, that doesn't
home
seem-
computer.
Okay, as the Xbox One S controller will have Bluetooth.
Yeah.
Thank you for telling me that I wasn't entirely off base and crazy. A.H. Michael's dick.
Oh,
Nice.
hey. Who's that guy? He watches a lot of our streams.
Waving hello.
I'm totally into the idea of mobile gaming in terms of just something you could take with you, or it's something you could lay in bed and play. It's hard to sell it to me as like a $300 package when it's something like, for my 3DS, I played it like a lot, very few times. Like I played Pokemon a lot.
Out of curiosity, which version of the 3DS did you have?
3DS XL.
Okay. I had a 3DS, didn't like it. I got an XL. Immediately, I was on board.
It's just all about the
But it
size. It's
also-
just way better.
It's so much better. The what?
The size.
Yeah.
There's an
the
innuendo
size.
there
Size
that we could
matters.
just gloss right
Size
over.
matters.
I knew what I was saying as it was coming out, but I was like, feeling
Yeah.
like
It was
gloss
also
over
the
it.
game though. The game that like I played a couple of different 3DS games, but the one that really got me into it was Fantasy Life, which, to be fair, came really far into the 3DS life cycle. Fantasy Life, since you got this quizzical look, which tells me I should be telling you more about
man.
it.
Oh,
is,
you opened a can of worms there.
an open world RPG. I'd liken it to like Animal Crossing crossed with an open world RPG.
This came out several months ago.
This came out a couple years ago.
Oh, then I don't know.
I'd love to know what it was that came out a couple months ago, because my understanding is Fantasy Life 2 has only been announced for mobile.
Whoa.
Ooh.
So
kind of
a little bit upset
Yeah,
still.
the
Yeah.
head thing. That's some
Little bit
sass.
upset.
Yeah.
Some nonverbal sass.
Wow.
I find my 3DS is just...
I'm not over it yet.
My 3DS is just like my portable Pokemon gaming machine. Like I don't play any other games on
Yeah.
my 3DS, but like DS Pokemon games and 3DS Pokemon games.
I'm very
like,
curious
90%
if
of the
I'll be
time.
able to play a Pokemon Sun and Moon now that I feel more in the Pokemon ecosystem thanks to Pokemon Go.
Do you
Because I tried
feel like you're
Pokemon
falling
X
off?
and went,
Yeah.
eh.
You're like, get out of here, Ash. I'm the real trainer
like you
now.
like playing
Right.
Pokemon Go better than a traditional Pokemon game? like
Because-
Pokemon Go is great when you're like out of the house, but I feel like it's just like the battling and the Pokemon Go is just not as fun to me. Like I just like collecting this shit.
That's the thing. Is like
I'm mostly collecting.
gym battles are to me like not fun at all.
Yeah,
All,
it's
all I do
strenuous
when I
and
go
then-
out is I try to go to a new place so I can find a new Pokemon.
Yes.
But I'm at sort of like that point where leveling up is pretty hard. I'm like 21 or something like that. And finding new Pokemon is really hard because I've been to most of the areas in the closer vicinity to my house or my apartment. So like now I have to travel further for
What
like
level
a
are you?
singular Pokemon. 21.
Jesus Christ, that's awesome.
So
Yeah.
I mean, I'm
I
falling
think I'm
off it.
16. Yeah.
I'm in a similar boat. I just hit 22. It's 100,000 experience to get to level 23. So I'm like, well, I'm not leveling at this point. That's not going to happen.
I believe the cap is 40, and from 39 to 40, it's 5 million.
Oh my god.
Damn.
So
Oh my
it's
God.
like hearing stuff like that. It's like these are obviously
How much
like
XP do you have
a
to get
soft
from
cap.
1 to level 39? Is it like
A lot.
Okay.
I mean, how long till we have the World of Warcraft-esque like expansion pack where like, hey, now you can just be 40. Here you go, $20.
Right, buy that.
Yeah.
I mean, if they added stuff like
cap
battling, and trading, and I really feel.
I feel like they should
the
just
reason the reason I like the
bugs.
3DS Pokemon games, not saying I like them more than Pokemon Go, but they have that aspect of like I can sit home and make progress, and I can battle my Pokemon or take this gym or whatever. Not saying you should be able to do that in Pokemon Go, but if you had something to do at home, like I have this level 1100 Slowbro, and like I want to make him better, but every time I feed candy to him, it's 2,500 fucking candy, and I get like 20 combat points. So doing that is like I would waste all of
Doesn't
my
seem
combat
that
points
worth it.
to get like 1,000. Like I would love like a mini game you could just do at home by just fighting like a dummy bag, like punching a dummy bag or something like that, or dummy bag.
I mean, do you think that it seems like part of that game? And correct me if I'm wrong, but it's based on occasionally you have to like walk a certain distance to actually.
That's so
hatching
fucking
eggs.
broken.
I'm not
though.
quite sure what the
Hatching
algorithm
eggs?
is, but yeah, hatching eggs is you need to walk, or you can tape it to your ceiling fan.
Or that. Do you
I
think
don't
they should
know if
take
that
that a
actually
step
works,
further?
like-
And it's like you have to actually do something in your house. Like if they introduce that, but you had to physically do something.
I want to put my phone on
Only thing I
Michael's
can
Roomba
think is like
and
take
just let it go
pictures
around
of
the house.
everyday household items, like take a picture of your soap and take a picture of the
No,
sugar.
if it's like a physical challenge, like you had to like, I mean, you said
How can your
you
phone
got to
keep
work
track
the
of these
bag.
things,
You got to
you know?
like just jump up and down or something.
Yeah.
I wish it ran off like a pedometer as opposed to GPS.
Me too.
Because
Me too. Because
it
I use the
doesn't-
I
treadmill.
use the treadmill
at home.
all the time at Michael's house, and it's just like I would rather
It also doesn't
walk
track
outside or
accurately.
walk inside. than
No,
outside.
it doesn't
with
track
GPS. Like
accurately.
I've walked around for like an hour or two and not hatched like a 2K egg.
Just drive around the neighborhood
So-
under 10 miles an hour.
Even that.
Yeah, like
I'm very curious to see what Niantic has planned for additions. I
I
wonder.
just want them to fix the bugs.
I
before
wonder
they add
if
shit.
they had any idea how quickly people would power through the game.
Because there's like one guy from
Because I
Jersey
feel
who
like at
caught
this
all the
point-
available Pokemon that you could get in North
Yeah.
America.
Yeah, like he's got like 142.
I think because
Like, they haven't
there's
done
some region
legendaries.
specific, and they haven't done the legendaries yet.
Yeah.
Did you read the story behind the guy that made Niantic Labs? Like what he's done previously?
No, you mean besides Ingress?
He has like a fucking pedigree, dude.
Really?
That guy made Google Earth.
Wow,
Shit. All right.
Yeah.
that makes sense.
He,
It's a good start.
Fuck, I wish I could remember all the things he did. I believe he came back and did some more work for Google like Maps. No, I think he made Street View.
That seems like
Okay.
that would be interrelated if you were going to go
Right.
on to
Okay,
Pokemon Go.
John
yeah.
Hank.
Right. This dude has done a fucking
Prior to joining
lot.
Google, he founded and was CEO at Keyhole, which was acquired in 2004 by Google, at which point his flagship product was renamed to Google Earth. After the acquisition, he spent several years as VP of product management for Google's Geo division, which was Google Earth, Google Maps, Local, Street View, SketchUp, and Panoramio.
All right, so this is the guy basically.
pretty
that
good
the
resume.
government, if they were like, we need to locate this guy's phone,
Right.
they would go ask this guy because he's got so much experience with GPS and now mobile.
Yeah. And then this guy left and he's like, I want to do something about this map data. And he made Ingress. And then Ingress got popular and then they made that April Fool's joke with Pokemon in the real world. And then everyone went crazy and then they were like, here is a lot of fucking money. They
Make
gave him
this.
like, I think 20 or 30 million
Is that actually how the game got made from that April
Yes.
Fool's
Yes.
joke? That's
And
incredible.
the world
fantastic,
said,
right?
yes, please.
Yes.
Yeah.
So like that dude has done a lot of shit. Like I'm surprised by after like doing that much, they're not fucking talking to us about like the bugs or what they're doing in the future.
They've been unfortunately very silent. I was wondering
Like, they
if
had
they
their own
would
panel,
have
but they
more to
didn't
say
really-
at Comic-Con.
Yeah.
Which they introduced the trainers, which
The gym
The-
leaders.
Everyone seems
gym,
like-
or the team leaders. So you
Everyone
can
seems-
join. Ryan's looking all like me,
Aren't-
and as the only
yeah,
person who
aren't you
doesn't
guys
play
the
it,
trainers?
you can
No,
join one of 3 teams. There's
Our
the
leaders,
yellow
though,
team.
Ryan. We have
There's the red
leaders.
team, or there's the blue team, and there's like team leaders, and they like revealed who they are at Comic-Con. I'm like,
Because
I'm like, I
before
don't
it
give
was
a-
just their
I'm like,
silhouette,
Pardon
and now
me,
we know who they
don't
are.
give a shit. Can we talk about the 3-step glitch, please?
Yeah.
Or
I'm surprised they didn't do like a Q&A and someone didn't ask that. Or if they did. I didn't hear
Also,
about
it was a rumor, but I think they were anticipating that they were gonna like release one of the legendary birds at their panel, and like there's people like
there
anticipating.
was a
for it.
rumor about that.
and they never did it, and then people were just like had an ass.
There is like there's some
Our PA Justin's telling me the Keyhole was funded in part by the government,
great.
There it
Okay.
is. Yep.
There was
but that would have been pre-Google.
Just gonna pull the SIM card out of my phone now.
but I want to keep playing Pokemon Go. I just need more incentive to do so.
Yeah, they'll add more features. I know they're going to add trading. I think
also
I heard
just-
they were going to add dueling and that sort of thing, so it'll make it a lot more
Battling,
fun
yeah.
to play
They
like with
fucking
friends
delayed
at that point.
Pokemon Go Plus. Did you? Okay, we need to
September.
talk about this real quick.
Yeah.
the little
Nintendo,
wrist thing?
Go.
So
Real quick.
Pokemon Go came out, and Nintendo stock climbed like a lot, and then Nintendo's like, we don't make Pokemon Go, and then everyone's
And-
like,
and
oh
then-
shit,
and then they're like, sell.
and then Pokemon stock went like this, and Nintendo's like, Nintendo stock went like this, and Nintendo's like, we're gonna delay Pokemon Go Plus, sorry, and now it's not
Whoops.
coming out till September.
Yeah, I mean, they are probably just trying to make more of them.
I think I just saw
Because-
something
like,
that
people
They,
with
said
the
they were
demand
they were
$4
already
billion.
pre-ordered so out.
What?
They lost. I mean, again, this
They
is all,
gained, like, what,
This is
20,
like face
20
false valuation. But
Their stock went up to cap in a day.
Yeah.
Like they could not go any higher. They stopped.
I think I just saw something when I was on whatever that said it went down about $4 million.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, I mean-
billion. Sorry, billion.
What do you expect?
That's a business B.
That's a little bit of money.
So,
Well, it
I'm
just went up a bunch,
Pokemon
too.
Go Plus is one of those things that I would love to have had along with the game because I would totally have
Yeah,
fucking
back
bought
when
it.
people played it.
In 2 months, I don't know if I will buy it. Even though I won't win, I think they're cool.
Yeah, we'll see. I think it'll, as they add more Pokemon, as they add like future generations, as they add more of the features, then I think those will be points at which they hope to draw people back in, because we're all at endgame now. There's not a lot to do unless you want to go take over gyms, which you can be done, unfortunately, very easily. Gyms are made to be taken, not held.
Yeah. Mhm.
There's really nothing you can do to hold a gym if someone decides they want to take it.
And the rewards for holding a gym suck.
Yeah. There's
Also, like you never really
like
get an
10
alert if you
coins.
get kicked out of a gym. So just like, I guess I'm not there
You just have to
anymore.
look for your dead Pokemon.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Wait, do they die?
No,
You
they
look
get,
at your
they get
inventory and
knocked
their
out.
health is like nothing.
But that's about it. And we need to wrap up the
Ooh,
patch.
5.1 billion loss. My bad.
5.1 billion. That's their market valuation.
Wait, sorry. 5.1 billion yen.
Are we
40.
talking different than their quarterly loss? Maybe we
That's,
can discuss that in our new The Patch Post Show.
Oh. All right, then. Well, thank you very much for joining us. This has been The Patch. We will see you again next week.
Same time, same place.
Goodbye.
Love you.